Thank you Bernard. Mi huwa ninashangaa vitu zingine, maana kwani mtu akiongea ukweli tunaweza mtaandika hapa ama tunaweza fanya nini? What is so hard that just saying facts? You know, the reason as to why I always speak and want a point of reference is that facts will remain facts, either in agreement with me or not. And most of the people individually advocating for GMO food, if you ask them, they are doing it in a point of politicians. So and so said GMO is good, so and so said GMO is bad. The moment you allow the politician to be your source of information, this is the kind of society we are likely to be having. That a society that believes on propaganda. You know, a politician is somebody who wants to twist everything to suit his political base. That one does not mean is the fact. Go and check every fact where possible. Today, the president has secured a loan of 397 billion loan. But because somebody somewhere, Ruto said that you can operate a country without borrowing, he has believed that that one will not be a loan but a grant. Let me not hope that there are Kenyans who believe so. So these are the things which are there. You know, then the issue of Moses Kuria to do with churches. Bernard, it is very hard and it becomes very compromising to oppose an individual whom you supported, and even you went ahead to call the other opponent names. I remember in a certain church in Githurai, if it was not Githurai, it's somewhere Mwiki or around Kasarani, that waliekanga picha ya Ruto background, pastor akihubiri, picha na maandishi ya Ruto. I can recall that one. So that one was like more of an anointing, or if I can call anointing Ruto to be the president. So how will they come out and tell Kenyans that whatever Ruto is doing is wrong, whereas they anointed him according to who the God they serve? Because I believe that all of us, we belong to one God. The sinners, the good people, the evil, and so forth, we are all belonging to God, and that's why we are within this planet. Anybody outside the planet, you can call him Satan, but as long as you are within this planet, you are a child of God. Either you are good or bad. The only thing you need is to transform. So that is the reason as to why you find them, they don't want directly to go ahead. And if you can remember, the Anthony Mueria is the only bishop, I think is the only bishop who came out in political arena categorically calling Ruto being a liar and lying to Kenyans in the broad daylight. And it went a long way until that Ruto could no longer share podium with the same priest. And I think he's a good man, because at least for him, he has not come in a radical way, but in a more moderate way. But at least he has shown that he cares for the Kenyans. And in a government that seems to be a good functioning government, Moses Kuria should not be a minister or even be an MP. Moses Kuria is supposed to be somewhere in committee serving a 20 years jail with hard labor. He's not supposed to be in government, because the kind of reasoning ethically and so forth, it becomes very bad. For those of you who are following politics, there's I think like 1 month ago, there's an MP in France. When a black man rose to give a motion about the refugees who are crossing the Mediterranean Sea, an MP who come from an hardliner political party stood and shouted and said, "Go back to Africa." As you are speaking now, the person has been expelled from the political party and is almost at verge of losing its seat because of such kind of a racist remark. And you know, go back to Africa has nothing to do with death and everything else. But we have a minister who has even told Kenyans, I can bring you your death, and had it there and is still serving. It shows how unethical Kenyans we are. Eri uwe Mkenya kuliko ajiuzulu ama aombe msamaha. Then on the issue of importation of maize, you know, mi sijui sijui tutatafuta economist mgani aende kwa serikali ajaribu kuwaeleza vizuri ndo wamwelewe. The moment you allow those duty free maize to come into Kenya, remember farmers they produced the corns and the maize at highest highest production cost. That is to include the petrol in terms of transportation. That includes fertilizer, labor, and so forth. So the moment you bring cheap maize from maybe nearby country by reducing taxes and so forth, it gives them, it disadvantage them in terms of competitive pricing. So the competitors will be able to sell at a lesser price than the local farmers. What will happen is they will not be able to regenerate another capital to be able to produce in the preceding years. That is how Mumias died. When farmers produced sugarcane and people bought sugarcane and packed in different sugarcane from sugar from Brazil, and farmers were unable to sell, the production cost that was used to produce sugarcane at that moment, they were not able to retrieve or to reclaim back. Therefore, they end up drawing the sugarcane. Therefore, they could not be able to proceed in the preceding years producing sugarcane. The same is likely to happen with our maize farmers. And what will likely to be is we shall have lost what we call a comparative natural advantage of our country, that we have sustainability in terms of food production. And if we go in that way, it means the day a problem will ever enter between we and our neighbors, we shall not be able to feed our nation. The moment you allow your food and other strategic resources to be at the hands of a foreign country, the foreign country can do anything to frustrate you, either to agree with them, or if not in agreement, or to achieve a certain objective. And that is why you find that Kenya is the largest economy in the East and Central of Africa, in a sense that it can be able to sustain itself at a long-term duration or in long run. But if we continue with the same kind of policies that seems not to be aligned with the same direction, Kenya will become a consuming state of disposable products. Mtu akiproduce kitu yake mbaya ama kitu yenye takikani inaletwe Kenya. Once we lose that way, remember Rwanda is coming up at a very high speed. The only thing imeshika Rwanda sasa ni mgogoro iko Congo here, M23, the March 2007 agreement that was signed in Nairobi. So that's the only thing is holding Rwanda. As we're speaking now, Uganda has discovered some gold in Uganda. Gold was discovered in Uganda. As we're talking now, Burundi is reclaiming back the victory or the east position that was being ratified by the late Pierre Nkurunziza. So if Kenya continue to sleep, tutaenda hivyo tuje tujipate tumerudi position ya Uganda. Now, just to summarize up and to finish is to say, the first world power was France. The second was Germany. But as today, as we are talking, none of them is a superpower. How did they lose it? That is to mean Kenyans are not in special forum not to lose their strategic advantage in East and Central of Africa unless we become well vigilant in terms of this government. Thank you. Bernard.
Sorry, one moment. I want to play a video in between before.
Bernard.
One moment, please.
Oh.
Where is this?